Airman Cave Archives! Knowing and doing are two different things. Hey, welcome back to Airman Cave Archives. Well, tonight I thought we would take a look at one of my books. And I actually had the opportunity of doing this with my dad. It's called Vices and Verses because in life we had vices and we solved them with verses, some of us. But it was a pretty cool opportunity to be able to share some of my dad's poems, and that's kind of what drove this book. Was I had read a little cedar box. It's over here if you can see it. A little cedar box that had a bunch of these different poems in it. And I was like, oh my gosh, Dad, these need to be put into a book. Well, after much browbeating, I finally got him to agree to it. And it took us a good 6 months or so to be able to put everything together. But I love the cover. It's got a picture of me and my dad, and he's holding me as a baby. My mom took the original picture of the cover, but it was awesome because my wife and my dad and I actually went back to the same location and recreated the picture some 20 years later. So that was kind of neat. Now, what I'd like to do is read a couple of the poems that I consider my favorites. Now, this is one that my dad wrote, but I love it. It's called Dreams of Sails of Silk. Lost on my ship in a sea of mud with failing sails of tin, plastic charts and worn-out dreams return me to where I began. Land is sighted then engulfed by fog, never to be seen again, and as I search for another coast, I curse my sails of tin. Other ships sail smoothly by to disappear ahead. Their rigging is made of braided rope, mine of woven lead. And to the spray and waves of mire, my ship bounces along, and I, coated with yesterday's storm, drown my fears in song. While my keel is tossed and turned, through straits it has not been, and as I search for another coast, I curse my sails of tin. He did that back in March of 1972. This one's another one from my dad, and I believe he wrote this for my Granny Nelson on Mother's Day. It's called She. I remember her as a flower in spring. She brought so much joy to everything. She floated quilts of sleep in our eyes. She softened the sting of hurt in our cries. She stood so strong to right our wrongs. She loved to sing the righteous songs. She never was too quick to blame. She always treated us the same. She gave praise where praise was due. She criticized constructively too. She washed our clothes and fed us well. She told us stories of heaven and hell. She was a friend indeed. She helped when she could in times of need. She was our own, we'd have no other. She will remain in our hearts, for she is our mother. He wrote that in 1971, again, for my grandmother. Funny thing about this poem, it's called Micron GS, and it was kind of a retort to one of the poems that my dad wrote. And I couldn't come up with a name for it, so I was actually sitting at a computer, a Micron. And my dad's poem was called Godspeed, and so I called mine Micron GS or Micron Godspeed. New life born free, no strings to tie, no story to find. No past to hide, no empty hopes, no senseless rampage, no preconceived rage, no reasons for lies. Rope-burned necks, melodramatic link stress, bone-pummeled replies. Heart in desert-like drought sighs. Midlife crisis, chain misery, razor-kissed instruments, one man picking off ants. Anger-induced bruises are blackening, a slaughtered scapegoat lies jerking. End in sight causes hunched-over weeping, all things healing brought together by stitching. Simple joys from simple deeds for now a simple mind. Deep buried treasures spew forth from long journeys' finds. A requiem lightens once darkened and vacant gallows. true running tears wash sorrow from thy sin-soaked brow. A single grain of sand comforts eternal slumber, knee-bent prayer returning us as we fall to earth and hunger. Love-bearing doves spiral in flight toward the heavens evermore. So that was kind of neat. Now, this is one that I had written prior to my wife and I deciding to get married, but it's called Soon to Be. Forgive and forget, so divine, isn't it? Praying and giving, demanding then taking. Release yourself to this life and confide your mind to this earth. Soul and body to me, and let us rest and follow our birth. They will make it all be mine in time as well as yours. Unbeaten by a world of hardship, unseen by others to be fit, unsure of the footing that we will step out on, let us beat the battles hand in hand, learned of the devil-tongued ones, return to I as the arms that I have put forth. Remember and resist, let morals be our picket fence, talking and communicating, then buying into one another's dreams. Remain true to yourself in this life and make your mind a sentry to the hate. Heart and soul is all that we will demand of each other, though in time you will choose to be my wife. Now, again, I had a great time working on this with my dad, and really had an opportunity to be able to see some of the stuff and through his eyes. And now you know a couple of the poems that we've done. If you're interested, don't forget to comment, or I believe it's on Barnes & Noble or Amazon. So try and get yourself a copy, and thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you next time. Airman Cave Archives! Knowing and doing are two different things.